Okay, yeah, so we need to find two numbers which can add to give us 7 and multiply to give us 12. The way we always start this type of question is to look at the factors of 12. So yeah, so 12 is our last number here. So we always need to get to two numbers that multiply to this. So we have 12 and 1, we have 6 and 2, and we have 3 and 4. And we need to get two numbers that add to give us 7. Okay. The only pair that gives us this is our 3 and 4 here. So we know that it's going to be 3 and 4 as the pair. So then we rewrite this as x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12. And then what we do is we draw a line going down the middle like that. And we factorize each one individually. So we look at the left-hand side, we see between x squared and 3x. The only thing that's common is our x. So we then open the bracket. How do we get from x to x squared? Times by x. Then how do we get from x to 3x is to times by 3, so x plus 3. And then here's the trick. We use the same bracket on this side and then put it in here. And then we say, if we have x plus 3 here, how do we get from x plus 3 to 4x plus 12? And the way we do this is to put a 4 outside. Because 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 3 is 12. So then we can see that our two brackets are x plus 4 and x plus 3. And if we were to expand this by using our FOIL method, we'd see x squared, that's our first terms. Then we'd look at our outside terms and go plus 3x. Then inside terms plus 4x. And last terms plus 12 and get x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay, moving on to the second question. X squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay, we have to find two numbers that multiply to give us our last number, multiply to give us 6, and add to give us 5. Okay, so we first do the factors of 6. So we have 6 and 1. Then we have 3 and 2. And yeah, so in both cases, actually, we can do 6 minus 1 to give us 5 and 3 plus 2 to give us 5. But I say we just stick with 3 and 2. So x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6. Draw our line down the middle. Factorize this. Take our x common between x squared and 3x. Then we put x here. And then get our 3 outside there. Then we use our bracket to put on this side, x plus 3. And then work out what gives us from x plus 3, how can we get to 2x plus 6? And we get to here. And then we say our two brackets are x plus 2 and x plus 3. Okay, looking at the last question, so x squared minus x minus 6, we have to look at two numbers that multiply to give us our minus 6 as our last number here. And then add to give us our minus 1. Remember to look at our minus 1s here. So do our factors of minus 6, and we can have minus 3 and 2. We can have minus 6 and 1. We can have 1 and minus 6. We can have 2, minus 2 and 3. And the one that's going to give us, if we add them together, the one that's going to give us our desired minus 1 is if we do minus 3 plus 2, that's going to give us our minus 1. So we look at our, let me break this down into x squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 6. draw a line down the middle, and we get our x. Factor out our x, and then minus 3. Then put our minus 3 on this side, x minus 3. And we say, how do we get from x minus 3 to 2x minus 6? Put 2 outside there. And we say our brackets are x plus 2 and x minus 3. So, looking at this question, we're going to have our intermediate, and this is a result that you're going to need to know. It's called the difference of two squares result. This is when you're asked to factorize something like this, and when you have no middle term, it means that the middle terms have cancelled each other out. So we first look at what is 9 square rooted, and we say we know that's 3. Okay, that's fine. So then we can say that this is x minus 3 and x plus 3. We always look at the last term here, square root it, and then plug in plus or minus, plus and minus versions of it in the first and last brackets separately. So if we were to expand this just for proof's sake, we look at our first terms, we get x squared. Look at our outside terms, we get our 3x. Look at our inside terms, minus 3x. Then our last terms, we get minus 9, so x squared. These two middle terms cancel out. Then we have our left with our minus 9 there. That shows that that's how it is. Okay. Then looking at our next question, we know that root 25 is 5. So we can do x plus 5 and x minus 5. But we notice that this is only going to give us x squared minus 25, because the x's, when they're times as the first multiplication that we do, it's only going to give us x squared. The coefficient of x squared is not going to be anything greater than 1. So we put in our 2 and 2 here, and we say, okay, 2x times 2x is our 4x squared. Then 2x minus times by minus 5 is minus 10x. Then 5 times by 2x is plus 10x. So you can see the middle terms still cancel out. And that is our final answer. So, looking at the challenge questions, this is when, if you notice, in all these previous questions, we always looked for a multiplication with the last term and saying what terms multiply to give us this term here. This is because the coefficient, and when I say coefficient, I mean the number in front of our x squared term was always 1. If you look, 1 here, there's no number in front, right? But look at our challenge question. We have the number 2 here. And the way we deal with this is we do the last term, like we did before, times by our coefficient, which is the number in front of x squared, gives us 6. So now we need to find two numbers which multiply to give 6 and add to equal 7. So the addition part stays the same. So yeah, factors of 6 are 6 and 1, 3 and 2. And if we look at our middle term of adding to 7, we can clearly see that it's our 6 plus 1 pair that we're going to need to use. So we keep the coefficient the same here, 2x squared plus our 6x plus our x plus our 3. Draw a line down the middle, factor it out, factorize each side, We look the common between 2x squared plus and 6x. We can take out a factor of 2x. I hope you can see that. Then to get from 2x to 2x squared, we can take out x. Then from 2x to 6x, we can take out 3, so x plus 3. Then, as you know, we use our bracket on this side, x plus 3. And how do we get from x plus 3 to x plus 3? Just times by 1. Then we do our 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1 from here, and get our x plus 3, and that is our two brackets. So, looking at the last question, we take our last number times by our coefficient of x squared, so minus 2 times by 6 is our minus 12. We need to find two numbers that multiply to give us minus 12. and add to give us our minus 1. Factors of minus 12 is 6, minus 6 and 2, minus 3 and 4, and obviously you can have obviously minus 2 and 6 and minus 4 and 3. Which one is going to, when they're added together, which one's going to give us our minus 1? Minus 6 plus 2 is going to give us minus 4, so it's not this. Minus 2 plus 6 is going to give us a positive 4, it's not that. Minus 3 plus 4 is going to give us our positive 1. And then minus 4 plus 3 is going to give us our negative 1, which we need. So as you can see, we keep our coefficient of x squared like this, 6x squared. And we say minus 4x, add 3x, minus 2. Draw a line down the middle. Take out the highest common factor between 6x squared and minus 4x. So we can see the numbers between 6 and 4, we can take out a factor of 2. Then we have 1x, we have x squared here and 1x here, so we get x like that. Then we say from 2x to get to 6x squared, we take out 3x. Then from 2x to 4x to negative 4x, we need to put in minus 2. Then use this very same bracket here and get 3x minus 2. To get from 3x minus 2 to 3x minus 2, again, just times by 1. Then we take our brackets, 2x plus 1, and we get our 3x minus 2. And these are our two brackets. So that concludes today's video. I'm probably, just looking at the time now, I'm probably going to make this quadratic expression revision lecture into a separate video in itself, because just for time purposes. So I hope you enjoyed both factorizing and solving videos. And yeah, catch you in the next one when I'll be looking